getting ready to kick off the season 4 um, round round 1, and this is our feature match. And I've got Doktarr and Prattlesnake Christian playing. Christian is in red on top playing the Xander, and Doktarr is in blue on the bottom playing Astrea. If you want to follow along with the deck list, just head out to shufflebus.com's SB4 deck list. I'm going to link that in chat for you now. And you can certainly follow along with their deck list there. I am going to try to keep that up. It's hard for me to do that with chat and everything else. So, Neil, I'll probably rely on you for deck lists tonight.
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, sounds good. And then I'm going to let these guys go if we're ready.
Yeah. All right. So this is the mill deck version
Right.
of Astrea that we talked about before.
Doktarr's got the mill.
Which, because he's not playing to the board, I think that gives him a big advantage. I mean, I think Christian's deck is good. And Xander ability is a very small anti-mill ability, but Neil's great against Fallen, Meteor's great against Fallen, and he doesn't really have anything that's going to stop him from having to get through these Orchid Doves to do damage.
Can we get a win poll? Yeah, let me get a win poll up. That's a good call, Warrior. Thanks for reminding me. It's easy to get lost in all that. I should have set it up, but
I mean, there is definitely the possibility that I guess he can get in for a bunch of damage. There's going to be a board state where it's going to be 2 allies in play on Xander's side, and then a Dove, a Lightbringer, and a 3/8 owl on the other side. He's going to cast a Meteor, and then next turn he's going to make a million Fallen. It would be much harder for the Astrea to refill. But if the Astrea plays its sweepers, efficiently, it's going to deal with that pretty well also. So I think the Astrea is in a good spot.
All right. You guys have a poll. Should be going here right now. So you can vote !D for Doktarr, !C for Christian. Get your votes in now on who you think will win.
Oh, you have to do !vote.
Oh yeah, that's right. !vote. Sorry, and then D.
I think it worked.
That worked. Yep, I got the calculation in.
Okay.
All right. So we got first roll-offs done, Neil. Looks like Christian's pulling that Cam Curse with 6 basics. So Doktarr's 2.
Normally, I don't think that the Fallen deck, and I guess a Xander deck specifically also, cares too much about meditation because they want access to their discard pile anyway. But in this matchup, obviously the mill pressure is going to make that a little more awkward.
So see that Foresight come down right away?
Yeah. Just super safe open.
Again, I really like Foresight here. I'm curious to see how it plays overall. Well,
it gives you 3 additional looks.
Yeah.
At the second Fallen book.
Yep.
And it's kind of interesting because he rolled 7 basics or whatever, so he's going to have to meditate a bunch before he foresights.
Yeah.
Because if he sees the book, he's not going to be able to meditate then.
Yeah, it's going to be a little awkward. So there's first Fallen book down. Also just save Christian passing right back to Doktarr there. Doktarr drops
and Christian played the owl.
So we get an owl.
Yep, and I don't think that the owl, obviously the owl is always good, and it's going to get its value here, unless he started Earthquake, I think is the only thing.
Yeah, I wondered what.
Yeah, Earthquake.
But Xander has the ability to recur an ally, so if you're expecting Owl with Xander, you can just go ahead and let an ally go.
That's what I was gonna say is that he's just gonna discard an ally, or even just like maybe he started a blank, knowing that he's gonna meditate into an ally or something. I think it's more likely he'll just discard an ally. But
so he's gonna foresight here.
Now I think this is interesting because I think he should be meditating first.
I guess he wants to know whether it's safe or not. I don't know what the other 3 cards in hand are, so maybe he wants to know if it's safe to foresight. Can foresight put on the bottom of the deck?
Yeah, I think.
So as long as those 2 cards aren't fallen, which is only like a 2 in 25 chance.
You put one on the bottom and one on the top.
So 1 in 12.5%, like 1 in 12.5.
But so I think in general you should meditate first. Because if, like, let's say he sees a fallen book here in one of these 2, he either puts it on the bottom and meditates 6, or he doesn't meditate the rest of the turn.
Right.
If he meditates first, even if he hits a fallen book, at least if he sees a fallen book in one of the 2, he can leave it on top.
Sure.
So this card on top now has either locked him out of meditating, or he's okay meditating it away.
Right. I would assume it's the latter of those, that he's okay meditating it away.
I think in general, and Inquisitor agrees that meditating first would have been correct. And that maybe just be a thing where he hasn't played very much. I
think Inquisitor is saying checking meds first is correct. So he's looking at the deck first before he meditates.
Oh, I don't think that's right. Because there's only 2 modes. He either sees a fallen book and can't meditate, or he doesn't see a fallen book and then you haven't gained anything.
Well, foresight into abundance is pretty tricky and pretty cool. So here's Time Hopper, free book to put down.
That's true. The abundance is kind of funny, but if your opponent plays abundance, like, then you can decide to foresight, right?
Yep.
There's never a time when he gets to play abundance and activate it before you get to foresight, so you could always choose, like, if you're just waiting on your foresight till after you meditated, you could always choose to foresight as soon as your opponent plays abundance.
Right. I again, just everybody's vote is going. I will close the vote after round 1, so be sure to get your vote in. Exclamation vote. C for Christian, D for Doktarr.
Is this Orchid?
Yeah. Drops the Orchid Dove.
So he's decided that Lightbringer is not good, and I agree with him.
Yeah,
I guess he has a spellboard at 4, so he could still play it.
Yeah,
but I don't think Lightbringer is very good in this matchup.
I think the 1/1 body is not irrelevant.
I think it's pretty irrelevant when there's 6 meteors and 4 earthquakes in play. Like, okay, so here's the thing we're seeing now. The foresight didn't do anything unless he like really wanted a main action to do nothing.
So he's not going to play the Swifty. I think he's trying to decide if he wants to meditate again.
I wonder if he's
there goes 1 earthquake. So
luckily the bidding the earthquake is a lot less impactful here,
right?
Because he has so many sweepers.
Yep.
And there's no 4 health guys in Doktar's deck.
Right. So Swifty comes into play. Probably not going to see Doktar's deck really interact with the board too much. So we'll be curious to see what happens here. So there's the Lightbringer. He goes ahead and does start the Lightbringer here.
I mean, making a 1/1 every turn is fine. It will trade for a significant number of the guys, but I just think that it's I guess I don't know if he could be doing better is the only thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what his last card is.
Yeah, it's hard to say. He did draw the second fallen book off the Swift Messenger.
So he raw dogged that.
Yep. Wow. Wow. Pulling that second fallen book right off the top.
He doesn't need to do the foresight right, apparently.
It just works that way.
Jesus.
All right, so I guess it's time to go ahead and watch.
I guess I better change my vote. That was some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Wow, the heart of the cards is with Christian tonight, everybody. That is for sure. Wow. if I'm Astrea player now, you got to be a little concerned, a little nervous.
So I guess I'm going to think about this foresight some more because maybe he did do it right. Because if you're forced to put one back, yeah. So he actually did see an additional card the way he did it. Because I just don't know if that upside is right. The majority of the time, I guess you're not going to see the Fallen Book in the top two. If you see the Fallen Book in the top two, you feel kind of bad about foresighting there.
Okay.
If it's not in the top two, you have the option to like mill yourself one that you know is not a Fallen Book. So if the only thing we're taking into account is actually finding the Fallen Book, it's probably higher percentage to foresight when it misses, because it misses most of the time, meditate one. I think for this turn, I don't agree with what he did because he knew he was going to have to meditate like several times. So you wanted to do that first and then foresight after.
I think that's going to be a real, it's going to be really interesting to see how these Fallen get turned on now. One of those is that, but there's the Shepherd that's going to pull back a very powerful ally here, Fire Archer. I like the Fire Archer recursion.
Yeah, he just wants one health guys, so when he plays his Meteor or his Earthquake, he'll make his own Fallen. That's, I mean, you're asking how Fallen will get made. It's going to be through Christian sweepers. And I think that because of that, the Astrea player should be trying to kill the units when it's effective for Doktarr to do so, because there's no way Doktarr is going to stop these 1/1s from dying to a deck with 2 remaining Earthquakes and 3 remaining Meteors.
So he's going to go ahead and force the Lightbringer, force an opponent attack.
Yeah.
And I think this does play into the Fallen plan a little bit, but I think you got.
Well, he can guard if he really wants to try to avoid the Fallen, but like I said before, that 1/1 body is not going to be.
We're just going to see Hopper come out. I wonder if he'll attack with an ally or attack with the Hopper. Oh, he's going to send the squad. Okay, whole squad.
That's what I thought he was going to do. He did, like you were talking about. The trades in this match are not going to matter very much, and he's even choosing not to owl when he's choosing to block, which I think is fine. Obviously, Christian has drawn a couple extra cards this turn already, so
there's bound to be something in that hand that doesn't matter at that point. 3-eyed owl should be exhausted now.
Yeah, I mean, Christian has drawn 2 additional
Astrea
cards.
Should have taken 1 damage there, right? Yep. I think they're getting it. Okay, cool. Yep. Oh, other way. There we go.
Yeah, and German's right. I mean, there have been a lot of actions taken and not a lot of dice spent, but that's, I mean,
well, there's the open memories.
We're just going to see that in this matchup where all their stuff is cost 1.
Imagine we're going to go to another Orchid Dove here, would be my guess on the memories.
That's unless he values second abundance.
Doesn't seem like it's actively good against Fallen. Just more likely to get
this
Fallen.
This deck has a lot of efficient plays, and it can very likely play. I guess it won't be an abundance because he only has 1 illusion dice.
Right.
So that's not even a consideration. It must be Orchid. I guess, like, he has Return to Soil, which is kind of a cute card in this matchup.
Yeah, but I guess you could get that with the open memories, right?
I think there's like a 0% chance that happened, especially since the Shepherd has already been played. I don't know what's in his discard pile, but the Return to Soil, like, remove a discard pile card is very relevant in this matchup.
I actually think Christian's going to have to pressure with some bigger threats because of the Orchid Dove. But he's going to go at the Three-Eyed Owl here. Not going to get an Astrea block. It's just going to end up with a dead.
I think he's going to keep just playing men because he has no way to stop himself from being milled, really. So his plan is like make Fallen or don't.
Here goes another Fallen book. That one hurts to meditate.
He doesn't get to complain.
Nah.
So getting second Fallen book round 1 has to be insane for him. Like his deck is not built to do that.
Now we're gonna get second Orchid book online.
Yep. So that was the open memories, which we thought.
That turns all his orchids into basic cost for followers that aren't familiar with the Orchid Dove.
Yeah, that focus probably isn't very meaningful to this deck that starts with 5 snakes, but
sure.
Obviously he could spend his divine on it if he wanted. Christian in the tank here for a minute, thinking about a Xander maybe, looking at his discard pile.
I think it's a real possibility. You could Xander into the Grave Knight, but you do have to worry about Beguile then on the Grave Knight. So he does have a Grave Knight.
I would not play any big units in this match. I don't think that's how he can win. Especially because, like you said, of the Astrea ability.
Yeah.
It just opens him up to Astrea ability wrecking him. Even just if he plays a Grave Knight, he would just take 4 from Mark of the Gods right now. And I don't even think that's a great play, but it could happen.
Sure. That's also a consideration that there could be a first round mark here. So he's going to Xander. He is going to get the
Grave Knight anyway. Interesting. Maybe he thinks he can get it through.
Well, it's not even about getting it through so much as just clearing the board and dealing damage to Astrea, because that
I just have no idea how he's gonna do anything with it when Astrea is just gonna exhaust it immediately.
Well, I suppose if you're really thinking about it, Astrea could spend 2 dice round over round to exhaust it, but the downside to that is that the Grave Knight still exists on the board. I just don't know.
It's just going to get picked up by the meteor when she inevitably plays it.
Sure.
And it's only 1 dice to exhaust it.
That's true. True. So it would take a while for that to be a value. So I agree. It doesn't feel like that's a great play.
Especially when looking at Christian's deck, he has Immortal Commander. And that's literally the 2 Immortal Commanders are the next best thing to hit with Beguile. So Grave Knight's the only real target for Beguile.
He's gonna make a bunch of Fallen and clear the Orchid Doves off with the Earthquake. Mills 2 in that process. But he gets
he's still got plenty of cards left right now. He's gonna get 6 tokens.
3 on each Fallen. Yep.
And so the Astrea is still showing Neil, but she is not showing Meteor right now.
Should be 3 tokens on each one. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you, Carl. I don't know why he made the second bird.
Yep.
Because Christian, I think, has done a pretty good job of getting the value out of his guys so far against what we thought was going to be a big sweeper match. And if Christian makes 3 Fallens here, or I guess 2,
it'd be 4 total. But yeah.
Yeah, I think making 2 and then passing is correct. So you can attack with he's either gonna get kneeled right now and get in for 2, or he's gonna get in for 2. Oh, he's gonna get Beguile.
Beguile on the Fallen.
Yeah, see now the Beguile looks a lot worse since he didn't play the Grave Knight.
Right.
And so maybe the Grave Knight pickup was simply just to mill himself 1 slower.
3rd Orchid Book in hand, Warrior, is what you're thinking? It's possible. It is possible on the abundance that he's already got 1, but he's going to make 2 more Fallen here. Yeah, my guess is one of these is a Kneel. There's the Mark of the Goddesses.
Oh, okay.
Just clear him with Mark.
It kills one of them, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Christian did a good job of getting the value out of his guys. Like that was his hurdle into going into this match was he needed to be able to like get the little incremental damages in between the sweepers, and so far we've seen that.
All right, we're going to close the poll. If you didn't get your vote in, this is the last shot. Closing in 5 seconds here. All right. The poll results in a tie.
I mean, after round 1, Christian looks like he's doing pretty good, but it's just so hard to tell.
It is hard. It is hard.
If he just gets kneeled twice, like it's very easily still get milled. Because every time that he gets kneeled, then it puts the pressure on Christian then to play a sweeper.
Yeah.
Because he can't leave just a bunch of 1-1s tapped in play.
I'd be curious to see what the 6-card hand from Foresight brings. We know he's not going to be able to find other Fallen, but you could see another Time Hopper book come down here pretty easily.
Yeah, I think the only cards that matter anymore are Hopper book and sweepers. Like he has access to all the allies he needs through Graveyard Recursion.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, drawing allies in hand is just fine, but it doesn't really matter what they are anymore. I guess Immortal Commander has the potential to be good, but I think probably if he plays an Immortal Commander, then it will just get Astrea immediately before it gets to fire up its thing.
Agreed.
Though he does have 3 accelerates, so I guess it's possible
you could see the accelerate play.
Yeah, so I take that back. If he draws Accelerate and Commander together, then they become impactful.
I think we'll probably just see the Fallen get exhausted here. You might see a Time Hopper, but I guess he meditated to the 2 shadows, so he can't do the Time Hopper play right now.
Yeah, I think he's going to attack, or he's going to make a bunny and attack.
He can't make a bunny because he meditated the 2 shadows away. Because he didn't roll.
Oh, he meditated. Okay.
Yeah, he rolled all basics on the time dice.
Okay. He's rolling worse than you.
He's definitely rolling pretty rough. And that's not what you want to have happen when you're up against a mill deck. Playing in that long game. It's already down to 11 cards in deck. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and you know he's going to get hit for at least 2. Okay, so here comes the squad. Whoa, TTS things. Yep. I think he would have liked to have made a hopper there, but you're right. If you just don't roll any turtles, you can't.
Right.
Or time class.
Yep.
But the hopper will be good enough at some point in the turn.
Yeah, here comes an owl. I think that, Doktar's path to victory is through abundance and owls. I think it's less through the Orchid Dove, although the Orchid Dove will certainly speed up the process.
I think it's interesting that he made an owl and not an Orchid Dove there, actually, because he's not going to owl Christian. He's never going to make him discard.
Well, the issue I think you have, or that you have to consider, is that at some point Christian is going to be able to take to hand, and someone needs a curse when on stream. Yeah, for sure. And what I was saying is that the hand is going to be a thing. So here's the accelerate. This is nice tech off of the Foresight, because it allows you to draw the card that you wanted off of Foresight, fix a couple of dice, and you still get a side action left, which...
Well, he has 2 side actions now.
Right. Yeah.
So Foresight is a main.
So he might be able to Xander as one of those, which it looks like we're getting a Xander play here. Probably
this
back
is
in
just
Fire Archer.
This is what I want Ashes to be, where you just like take 4 actions and spin your wheels. Like,
and he passes that second.
Oh, he didn't even make. He didn't have a second. Side.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to put that Time Hopper up. Although you could probably put a Time Hopper out right now without much issue, just because your opponent's not playing.
there's just no reason to. Him playing the Accelerate there indicates that he doesn't have the Commander,
Right.
or that he has Commander plus other Accelerate already.
Right.
So maybe, I guess if he has Commander and Accelerate, he should have made a bunny, but we don't know that he does.
Right. Although you can still, I know, because that's true. Fester's no good.
Yeah, that card's not very good in this matchup.
So
discarding other Fester. Okay, yeah. So
certainly looks
now
like
he's showing Meteor.
Yep.
Which after, I mean, he has 9 cards this turn, right? I guess, and he saw 2 with Foresight and drew 1 off of Accelerate. So
8 cards left in the Christian pile.
He's put 2 on the bottom. Like, there's only 6 unknowns in Christian's pile now. Okay.
There's second abundance, so we are getting closer to abundance as a damage source.
I mean,
there's second time hopper book.
It's a damage source already, kind of, like, because there's so many cards left in the Astrea deck that it's going to be one-sided when he activates it already.
Absolutely, yeah.
Second hopper book is good.
It'll be interesting to see if this Astrea can hang on, because the light
pool 7
7
dice left. So,
well, I'm just looking at the ready spell component of each of their boards, and there's not a ton of unit play coming out of Doktarr's hand. There is some,
yeah, but he doesn't need unit play. He's got 8 cards in hand. And if one of them isn't a Neil or a Meteor, like, I'll eat my shoe.
Sure.
So, like, he doesn't care about putting things in play other than the doves. I mean, he's got 14 cards left in his pile, and did we see him play either Sweeper yet or Meditate it? No. So
I think you're going to see a Hopper play into a 2-unit attack here, Fire Archer and Hopper. To your point, he's threatening Meteor. And Doktarr's threatening Neil. So
it depends on if he has the Accelerate Commander in his hand, I think.
If there is an Accelerate Commander in hand, then everything changes, obviously. But I think it's hard to set up Accelerate Commander into what is most likely Doktarr holding a Meteor or a Neil, because you can't set a wide enough board into those cards.
That's true, Inquisitor. I was just about to say that if he gets the 3rd Dove book, then it's quicker.
Yep. So we're gonna see the Hopper,
and if he gets 3rd Abundance book, then it's really quicker.
I think we're just gonna see that attack happen here now. Just playing around those Neils. He's going to put the status counter on his owl.
Are you allowed to do that? I don't even know what this card says.
That's a good point.
Yep, sure can.
On another target unit. Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting.
Yeah. Bunny can put status counters on your opponent's stuff, but...
what a flex.
Bunny can put status counters on your opponent's things, but Omenbringer cannot stack your own deck.
Yeah. So we get 1 more point of damage in here.
Yep. And that's good. Xander has 6 battlefield, is that correct?
Right. So he's got room for a bunny and 1 other unit, so he can continue to slow play this plan of, like, make Fire Archer.
I mean, so this looks like a dove. Yep. Yeah, so he's going to hopefully have, like, doesn't really matter what it is. It's just he wants it to be like Psychic Vampire or Shepherd or something, like some very cheap unit. Yeah, Swifty, perfect.
How did Xander take 2 damage? What hit him for 2? Anybody see how Xander took 2 damage?
I'm not sure.
Well, one of them was probably Ceremonial. No, I don't think he's Ceremonial Recur because he's Shepherd Recurred. He's Ceremonial Recur twice? Possible. Chose damage from what? instead of abundance. Oh, I see. He's already allowing the abundance to hit. I got it.
Okay.
So the Mark of the Gods is going to do 1 damage here. Not a super great mark, but obviously not terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense. Matt, understood. Thank you. I just didn't see that had happened. I didn't even know that was really an option.
Yeah, because normally
you may
just
draw
wanna
up the 2
the
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Abundance is a weird card.
It is weird.
It's a really weird card. Yeah, I don't know about that mark. I mean, I guess it's fine if you just have nothing else to do.
So I'm guessing you're probably at this point. Do you go ahead and make a time hopper and get in for another point of damage here? Clear the board. You lose 1 card in the process.
I think that's most likely the play. I'm assuming that Christian has a sweeper.
Yeah. I would assume so too. But once you sweep, Christian,
right. I don't think he's gonna play it, but I don't think what I'm saying by that is I don't think he's afraid of filling his battlefield up. So I think he's gonna want to attack. No, he just sends the
Good luck, Cam. Send Swifty at the owl. Just going to clear the owl. I don't mind clearing owl.
That indicates to me that he just really wanted a main action.
Mm-hmm.
Because that... Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to do it at some point because you don't want to let him get double block next turn.
Second Dove just opens up sweeper, right? Because...
Well, it does and it doesn't, right? Christian has to be careful because as soon as he sweeps, he's going to get kneeled back. So he's going to have to do the same thing again he did last turn where he's going to make them 2 at a time and kind of get in there.
Agreed. We've already seen 2 Mark of the Goddess, so it's very likely that the last mark is in Doktarr's hand at this point. Not obviously guaranteed, but half the deck has been seen.
Yeah, I think Christian is playing this very well, and if he continues to play at the way that he's playing now, we're gonna see
there's the Immortal Commander.
Okay, so this is kind of neat because I think he has to beguile the Immortal Commander. I'm not sure. I guess he doesn't have to do it right now, but the Immortal Commander doesn't die to Earthquake, so he's going to get to sweep but keep his best guy.
Yeah, if you do Earthquake here, you're not going to make 4 Fallen and Hopper. That's for sure.
Well, he can't do that now because his battlefield is full, so he has to Earthquake or Meteor, and he's not going to Meteor with untapped Commander.
Well, he's out of dice for Meteor. He doesn't have the Meteor dice anymore.
Right. So here we have
Chain of Violinist.
Okay. That was a card I thought that he would first 5 actually.
I thought it seemed likely as well, but
because I think Violinist is better than Lightbringer in this matchup. Though the Lightbringer has been okay, it has eaten a Fallen every time, or not a Fallen, just a guy.
Obviously, getting cards from hand before you sweep is...
So he played Violinist, but he didn't shoot anything.
So I guess we're not getting a clear. Don't have a clear. Astrea takes the block here.
I think that's a good play because the commander wasn't going to be good post the clear until 2 turns after the clear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's too many to where, if he clears and then he makes Fallen, then Doktarr is going to play.
So I think he's going to give up on the clear here, to be honest, because I think you're getting to the point where you're at end of round, and Astrea can only take 1 more thing on here, and you're going to go top around with a wide battlefield and an Immortal Commander. You're going to be 2 wider, so you're going to deal at least 4 damage to...
Right. He's really slow playing it. I like it a lot. And because he's going first here, he's going to have a big commander attack.
Right.
Because he really left Doktarr with no choice. Like, if Doktarr chose to sweep there, he was going to get overrun by Fallen. And if he doesn't, he's going to get overrun by whatever board this is.
Right.
So I think that was good.
Certainly is going to set up a big turn for Christian here, potentially, where you see an opening salvo that turns into a clear to make more Fallen.
I mean, this is like... He's attacking for lethal unblocked, so he's just going to, like, get in for a bunch.
Well, he's attacking for way more than lethal. He's attacking for 12 unblocked. Well, no, you're right, because the commander itself...
He's attacking for exactly lethal unblocked. But, I mean, obviously it's going to eat these men.
Right.
Rather than kill him, but it just... Yeah, Christian has played this really well.
Trying to decide on the foresight here.
Fallen is a very powerful thing. Do you have to choose that before you draw your other cards or after?
You draw 2 cards from the normal draw step, and then foresight says during the draw step. So I think after you draw your 2, you can...
So you get to see your draw up hand before you...
Yeah, 4 gets in here.
Well, he may choose not to block with the violinist.
So
I don't know what's correct, but like... I think I would lean towards taking 6 and keeping my violinist, but I'm not sure. Maybe this is better. I guess since it's blocking 2 damage, this is probably better.
Yeah, it feels like it's probably better. Okay, so chooses not to kill the allies. Smart there. So 4 gets in on Astrea, takes Astrea to 6. It's going to get tight here. The Astrea player is definitely not out of this. If you're new to Ashes, understand that the life totals here are nearly meaningless in this matchup.
I mean, it is still very meaningful because, like Warrior was saying before, even if he gets milled, it's still going to take at least 2 rounds for him to die to it.
Yeah, we're going to go top of round with Astrea, which will most likely lead, though, to a kneel out of the top of the round. So it's going to depend on how many clears Christian
but because
left.
Because it's going to take at least 2 rounds, Christian is going to have a round where he gets to go first.
Sure.
And I think it's probably going to take more than 2. Because right now he has only got 4 damage showing plus whatever the draw step would be.
So there's the owl. I think Christian's going to probably slow play this. Yes, there will be a top of round kneel in the next round here, no doubt. We're not going to see that change. Both players are searching Christian's discard right now. I'm sure they're just looking at how many earthquakes and meteors have been played or passed by at this point.
Right. I mean, Christian should know the bottom 2 cards of his library also. From activating foresight, so he actually that's kind of cool that the 6th card he drew when he was deciding whether he wanted to draw it or not, he actually knew what it was.
Yeah. if you remember that far.
Well, you also have to know your list because you didn't actually put it there, but it was the only remaining unknown.
Sure.
And you're right. In round, what is this, round 3?
We're in round 3, yes.
So top of round 4, there will be a kneel, but that doesn't actually stop Christian from doing anything.
So right now,
as long as he saves a meteor and
looks like if you go abundance, make him draw the last 2 cards or take 2 damage. He could potentially take up to 4 damage off abundances. Orchid Doves would mill the last 2 cards this round still. you would end up in a scenario where you'd stay at 16 for this round, or you'd go to 12 for the round.
Yeah,
But
I
when you
mean,
go,
ideally for Doktarr, is he's going to.
Carl, I don't know. I've been trying to track it. I know for sure we saw one EQ go by, one EQ been played. There's been no meteors played. So I don't know if there's any meteors in the discard pile because I don't have the ability to search the discard pile. No meteors have came from the Doktarr side, and no Neils have come from the Doktarr side. Doktarr has 3 meteors and 3 Neils. Be less likely to see those cards come from Doktarr. But although there is a game state here where a well-timed meteor could take all of the tempo away for Christian going into round 5.
Well, I think Astrea's only chance here, I think, is to engineer a situation where his Orchid Doves die before he activates Abundant Cistern, which I think is very doable.
So he's going to foresight the Astrea deck here.
Yeah, that's cute. He knows his cards, and he may not even get to draw them. So
yeah, it's very possible that could happen, Matt. There's no doubt that third Orchid book, but I don't think by any stretch of the imagination the Astrea is out of this match. This is very tight right now.
I think it's looking pretty bad for Astrea, but obviously there are still.
So you double discard. Just show it. Threatening
again, this indicates the meteor. But he did it last round too.
He's got Xander to bring back the Psychic Vampire. I like that. That's a nice value play.
Yeah, that's true. He could also like Xander for Shepherd, which starts like a chain of unmilling yourself.
Yep. So he's gonna take the card with the owl. There is no memory drain in this list.
No, memory drain is the owl ability, and he just did it. Carl called it.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking. I was thinking memory theft. Sorry, brain not working. Yeah. Yep,
because that forces him to make a play.
So I think you'll just see Hopper attack, right? That's a free damage.
It's like the safest. I don't know what else. I guess I can't really think of anything else that he would want to do.
He's just going to go ahead and meteor.
Looking at his list.
Just wants to get those fallen set up.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. This is a play to shorten the game, which I think is in Christian's favor.
He gets 4 counters on the fallen here. So he's got plenty of fallen now.
And now he has tons of main actions. Mm-hmm. And he, like we were talking about, I mean, he could even go so far as to go 1 at a time. Since he's at such low life total, like you just make 1 fallen and then attack, 1 fallen and attack. I don't know that that's like where you want to be, but it's a potential option.
So we see the dove come. I would suspect we'll get a double fallen play here into 1 damage. Although you could go Xander here, but nope, we're just going to see the... Start using power to save life. Yeah, I mean, he's also got 3 redirects, so it's very likely he's got redirects sitting in his list to save some damage here.
The redirect to gain 1 life is like worse than just charm power.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna send it back to Doktarr here. I'm sure we'll see another dove. This will mill the last 2 cards out of Christian's list. Things are looking a little bit problematic if Christian can't finish it this round because you've got...
He just doesn't have the damage, though, I don't think. Because I agree. He's going to get milled. He's going to take 3. He's going to take 4 more. 11. He's going to take... Oh, it's I guess it's... So if he gets to activate both abundances with no cards in pile this turn, that'll put him at 12. And then next turn he'll have him at 8.
And remember, Dove
plus 3.
If the Dove can't mill it deals damage as well.
Well, only if he has the third book.
Right. It's gonna be focused on
but time. So he's got 8 damage on the table from the
all right.
Abundances, assuming that he gets it milled, which I think will happen. And then he's got 3 damage on the table from fatigue, which would put him at 5.
Make a hopper. He's going to get in for 2.
So even with the third Dove book, I guess if he has third Dove book exactly now, no, that still wouldn't do it. It'd leave him at 1. And he'd have to go to round 6.
As far as I know, Inquisitor, that's correct. 1 EQ and 2 meteors. I did not see another meteor go past in Christian, so there's still a distinct possibility that's there. I think honestly, if you're going to just trade here, you trade 2 Fallen into Dove and Lightbringer. It's probably fine.
Well, he's going to make a hopper.
Well, he was debating it, and I think it's just, how many actions do you get where you're going to get to clear with hopper?
I think this is way better. He gets the damage through and kills both guys.
And the hopper lives, actually.
Yeah. He didn't like front on him this time with the status counter.
Nah.
Wait, did he not block with Dove? What happened there?
No, he took the 2.
Okay.
I don't know if Matt,
killing the hopper is higher value because the hopper has the potential to make an additional hopper.
But it can't this turn because it's exhausted. It has to be unexhausted. The hopper has to be unexhausted, Matt. You can't make hopper 2/3 here with an unexhausted hopper. He would have had to leave the hopper up and attack with just
right. It's still just the correct play to kill the hopper because even though it won't literally happen exactly now, it's just more bunnies for next turn. Like, how is Doktarr going to when he makes an additional hopper? Like,
yeah, it's true, man.
There's going to be more bunnies than he can kill.
If you control an unexhausted time hopper with 1 more status tokens on it, you may place an additional time hopper on your battlefield.
So here's some more Fallen.
So what you want? Yeah, no problem. You just want to make that hopper. I think if your goal is to make a bunch of bunnies, and you make that hopper and don't attack with it there, and then you status token for 2 more hoppers and attack for 3 hoppers here.
And that's probably what he was thinking about actually, because that is a decision. You would get an additional bunny out of the deal if you didn't attack with all 3 there. If you just
right,
but I think this is a little safer because you run into if he plays Neil or plays Meteor into your untapped bunny, that's some good value for Doktarr then.
Right. And now we're going to get Xander. Probably recur Fire Archer would be my guess here. But
that's probably the best one. It's mostly just so he doesn't draw an additional card, I think. Though maybe he'll play it. Yeah, so he gets a Fire Archer. Right now, I think 2 Fallen is maybe better than Fire Archer. Okay.
There's an enchanted
Violinist is good.
Violinist will...
Because that's going to get his last card, right?
It's a Fallen and takes the...
there's
card.
2 left.
Yeah, because he didn't block with the Dove yet. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to make that last bunny here. Attack for 2, get in for 1. Fire Archer will not finish it this round, but Fire Archer will finish it next round. Nope, can't make.
We gotta tell him he can't make 2 bunnies.
Yeah.
You can still put the counter on it.
Yeah. Blocks with the Dove, gets the last card this way. That's the last Meteor. So all we know for sure that's in hand is potentially 1 Earthquake.
Interesting that he put a meteor on the bottom. I guess that would have been with the
second
second activation of yeah. So that makes more sense. I guess the first one I wouldn't have made sense either because the only thing he was looking for was Fallen Book.
See, I think you're into double. What you get now is the ability to just double Fire Archer for the win. You don't have to do anything else for the rest of this game.
Yeah, it takes a lot of action. So he only has the one Archer. So he has to like play it, kill it, get it back, and then play it again.
Yeah. It's true.
But I mean, he still has a lot of pressure. Because we assume that there's going to be a kneel top of round 4 here.
Seems likely.
Crazy that it's round 4. Like they have so many actions.
Yeah,
these decks that
we've been 55 minutes in the match at this point, roughly, and we're still in round 3. Been a long, grindy.
Yeah, they have so many actions, and because of the abundances and the foresight, they have access to so many cards that they not only did they take a million actions, they have like decisions for what those actions are.
Yeah, so I think the Fallen won't get through here if Christian plays Fallen because Astrea Beguile and Orchid Dove will block. So I think you've got to play into assumptions that one of those cards is an Earthquake. And so even if it takes you a bunch of actions, will you die from it? That's the real question. Because if he plays Fire Archer here to deal 1, you don't necessarily have to Earthquake this turn, but you could. Next round, you go 1 action, recur the Fire Archer with Xander. Next action, play Fire Archer for the win. And so it takes away the top of round kneel.
So it looks like he passed.
So the Abundance is going to go for 2 damage here. If he gets the Orchid Dove book here, third book, it's just going to be a matter of whether he buried an Orchid Dove book on that.
Well, he still doesn't actually have the damage to kill him, even with that book,
so
because that's
Final Abundance.
Okay, that will make it a lot different. So now he's going to go to 10. And then have 6 damage on him, going to 4. So if he has, with the 2 from, so he's on a definite clock here.
Oh, for sure, he's been on it. He's going to take 2 from the.
Well, until that last Abundance came into play, he actually couldn't lethal him. Even with 3rd Orchid book, he needed the 3rd Abundance.
Okay. So Doktarr passes. I think that ends up being a double pass, right? We saw pass.
Well. No, because...
Oh, yeah, he played Abundance in it. Yep, so there's Shepherd.
Oof, that's really good, actually.
For just putting a blocker up?
Yeah, it makes a blocker and a Violinist. Like, that's
but the Violinist doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't do any damage.
Well, except that it's another blocker, and it kills a guy this turn before they untap next turn.
Sure.
Like, that's crazy good. It's going to deal with 2 units and play by itself.
I'm not sure you can do that, Inquisitor, just because... he's still got a grip of cards and 3 dice, but it's possible.
Right, Carl. With the Shepherd and the Violinist, he doesn't have to kneel top of round.
Right,
and that's really, really good.
All right, send it back to Doktarr again. Yeah, I definitely think swing for 2 is a real outcome here. So he's just got he's got the EV down now. He's going to use it.
And he's going to kill, I assume, one of the bunnies.
Probably the bunny with the status token.
Interesting.
There
it is. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say. Although it doesn't matter too much as long as you've got a bunny up this round on the side action bunny. You can make 2 bunnies off of 1 bunny book activation now, and in the next round, as long as it doesn't.
Right. It's just like if you're looking at this board and you Violinist a Fallen, you're just spewing value.
Yep. So here's the Earthquake.
Okay.
Gonna wipe the board clear.
So this is good, because he can make the 2 Fallen.
It's gonna depend on whether or not.
But he can't kill him.
Well, the other side of this could be a redirect. Just to save face, but you're gonna have to get another unit on board, right?
At minimum, he can just use that snake power to shrink one of the Fallen, and he won't die.
So that was the only Shepherd. So we're not gonna see another Shepherd to recur Violinist. So it's Prattlesnake's turn here. We're gonna see. See, to me, I think you threaten. No, didn't get any counters.
He's gonna make 2 Fallen.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a Beguile off of this. You get in for 1.
Beguile isn't enough because he knows he has Fire Archer.
Right, but you can't play Fire Archer this turn, so you're gonna get
right. But he also can't kill. He can't kill Christian in 1 action next turn. So here you have to do what Carl says: Beguile 1 and Charm the other.
Yep. That's gonna be the only way you survive.
And then you are forced to kneel, I think. First action round 4.
Because Christian's gonna suffer 3 fatigue here, and as long as that was the last sweeper, Carl. There are no more sweepers, so it's looks like we're getting a GG.
Wait, he's not actually dead. He actually had another sweeper too. There was a meteor in his hand.
He did bury the Orchid Duck with that foresight. Wow. Christian just living the heart of the cards, burying 3rd Orchid book with foresight. Incredible.